Hey everybody, we got great topics today, including the controversy surrounding Muhammad Ali's funeral and Hillary Clinton's big win this week. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Oh, hey, we got some smooth stuff going on today. This is like disco music. We even got the disco lights behind us. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week. I got my disco crew right now, including, there you go, Rachel True, who's giving us a little 80s Vogue. I think that was the wrong era.
That was the West Hollywood Vogue.
Okay, that was the
It's the least I can do.
All right, well, Rachel True, we got DJ Jesse J.
The drunk Abby. I'm just kidding. Yo, what up?
You got a haircut, Jesse?
Shout in. Because the first barber done messed it up, so I had to go to another one.
It looks real fresh. We got Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
And our very special guest today, she is a podcast superstar. Marlo Jaye is in the house with her podcast, That Girl Said, which is jumping.
Hi.
You got your little sizzly, sexy shirt going on right there. I don't know which way to look today. My left, my right.
I'd stick right there.
It's warm in here, and I ain't talking about because of the lights. You know, I'm just saying. All right, well, how's you guys' week? How'd it go?
Good.
Anything
You know, it actually sucked.
Really? Did it suck?
Actually, no, it did. It
Is
did.
your computer alive?
It started. My computer crashed yesterday, and so I was like, you know what? This is God saying, Jesse, you should not DJ anymore because there ain't no way I'm sitting and re-downloading. And then I just finished my mix, but just got a call 2 hours ago. It was a wire problem. It's fixed.
Well, do you have a hard drive?
Yeah, have we learned how to back up?
No. So the thing is, I backed everything up. Trust me, I backed up wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing is I hadn't backed up in the past like month and a half, and I made these mixes that I was getting ready to drop, and then all of a sudden this happened. I was like,
Supposed to back up weekly.
I just got a message on my computer too, so I'm a little nervous. But I know I have a lot of footage on there, so I need to buy a hard drive.
Yeah.
Or I heard that it'll crash.
So lesson of the day,
Lesson
y'all.
of the day.
Lesson
Back
of the
up
day.
as often as humanly possible.
That's right.
But
Like every time that little thing comes down, it says, and again in an hour, don't keep doing that. Do it then.
That's true.
Right.
It's good advice.
Yeah,
if
you're
you're just sitting at your computer, it should be plugged in the whole time.
And I just want to say, you guys, I wasn't here last week, and I'm so bummed because there were so many great topics, and it was a great show. So, kudos.
Well, we got some great topics today. We got, Hillary Clinton going on. We got,
Yeah.
as I mentioned, Muhammad Ali. We got the BET Awards and the Prince tribute that we're going to be talking about. In fact, why don't we just start off with that?
Well, before I start with that, so for BHL, I got to go see the movie Warcraft.
How was that?
So here's the thing.
like it? You
Growing up, my brother, we never saw my brother because he was shut in his room all the time playing Warcraft. And if you open the door, he'd be like, stop! I'm like, what?
Could you do that again?
Stop!
Okay.
So
Remix.
as I got older, I was like, all right, Brian, can I play? Like, he's one of those people like you can't play with him because he's so good. Like, he'll kill you just by pressing like 3 buttons, and you're like, well, I don't even know how to move left. But so I know of the game, and I was kind of like, how are they gonna do the movie? I was a little skeptical because usually when they try to take a video game or something like that into a
I'm
movie,
so curious what they're going to do with Ready Player One. Did you know that
No.
book? Oh, it's about a video game. Steven Spielberg's is an amazing book, but it takes place a lot in a video game.
Yeah.
So how was Warcraft?
So Warcraft actually, I didn't know what to expect with it because there's so many different characters, but I liked the story that they told. I thought it was the action, where like certain things like a Lord of the Rings for me can be a little long. Warcraft though, I mean it was like action packed, fighting. The graphics were really dope.
Is it one of those things that, like, if you haven't seen the
Nope.
game or anything, you won't get it?
You'll get it right away. But that's why I thought it was really cool because I went with the little kid too. So he had never played the game before. So to him, it was all new. It was
Some random little kid.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna go see it?
Right.
I just stand
I was going to
outside.
say that, Marlo.
Okay,
I know, me neither.
calm down. He's like my son. But so that, and then for me, like just playing the game and not even really knowing the game, I could spot certain things out like as a video gamer.
that were like Easter eggs from the game.
It was really, and it was just cool to see their version of it, like in real life versus looking at just the computer stuff. But the action consistently, like, because if I'm not into a movie, I'll start to doze off at the end of it. I was up the whole way through.
You know the director of that did a movie called Moon, an independent movie called Moon. That was quite interesting. If you can catch it on
That
Netflix,
sounds familiar,
yeah, it's a really good movie. Sam Rockwell did the voiceover on it. Anyway, there's a lead actor, but he's also David Bowie's son.
Really?
Duncan, yeah.
Huh.
He
Interesting.
just uses a different name.
And then how was the CGI?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was dope. Like, I mean, again, I didn't go in there thinking like. I didn't go in there thinking it was going to be a Harry Potter, a Lord of the Rings, but to me, like, I would go watch the second one for sure. Like, because I think the second one will probably be better than the first, because now that I know the story, I'm like, all right, I want an ogre. I want an orc. I want an orc. But Warcraft is everywhere this Friday. Make sure you guys go see it.
Is it a World of Warcraft in the movie? Because I've never played the game. I actually have never played any of those MMORPG.
No, hold on. You don't remember Warcraft? Games. Remember when computers first came out? It was the game that came with.
Because I'm ancient. I do. I do. I played it on a Commodore 64. You got no. No, I didn't.
All right, well, let's go switch segments here because BET finally announced. We've been talking about this Prince tribute.
We've been talking about it for weeks.
Yes, we have.
They announced who's going to be performing, and Daryl, you can be excited because Sheila E. is taking the stage. She's going to take the stage with Sheila E., The Roots, D'Angelo, and Janelle Monáe.
Oh,
So my
that's
question is,
awesome.
the Roots gonna be the band? Because I don't think I need to hear anybody in the Roots like.
Sing.
I don't need any of that.
Janelle Monáe will be the star.
I think Janelle Monáe
And
will be
she's
amazing.
amazing. Why is it everything that girl does is just
It's
amazing
fantastic.
and beautiful to watch?
Yeah.
good.
And she had the song on her album with Prince. Her Electric,
Yes,
was
she
it
did.
Electric Lady? Or
Not Electric Lady, but off that album.
off that
It was
album,
off that album, Electric Lady.
So I'm excited. I think that'll be dope. But yeah, Roots. I mean, I could see them probably being the band, and then Sheila being the drummer, and then but they can do.
What's gonna do?
Wes gonna sit there with his afro and
He's just gonna be
drum.
figuring it out.
And every once in a while say something.
Quest's gonna be like,
Unless she
I
was
was at the
wrong.
billboards.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm a huge Prince fan, and I'm excited to see this performance.
How do you feel
because
about
of Sheila.
D'Angelo?
Hey, listen,
that random?
D'Angelo performed "Sometimes It Snows in April," which is a song off a Prince's Parade album on the
'Cause I'm
Jimmy, was
trying
it
to-
Jimmy Kimmel
One of my
or one
favorite
of those
songs.
shows, and he couldn't even get through the song. It was so good. Like I feel D'Angelo doing this. My biggest problem is that I still feel like there's so many other people who can still be involved with this tribute. Where's the revolution? I know I keep
I
saying
think
that.
that they're gonna bring people out. Like
And
the
surprise
I
them.
think they're gonna bring
it
out
can't
the
just be
time.
this,
I think
yeah.
they're gonna bring out Revolution because listen, you gotta bring out Morris Day.
You got
He's
to.
still alive. He's still alive somewhere with a comp.
Oh my God! I
And if anybody's gonna perform, this is where they should be
don't you
performing.
just picture him holding that mirror like, oh,
That's
get that
Jerome.
hip hop. Oh, get all right, Jerome. Sorry.
I mean, I'm
gotta
excited.
do that.
I'm excited to see what they do, and I do agree with Marlo. I think that there's going to be some other surprises, but I'm hoping that somehow the Revolution is involved this because they're going to do a tour
And the new
that starts in
Power
August.
Generation. If that
And New
wasn't-
Power
I feel like
Generation.
maybe there's something with Sheila E. when Sheila E. does her part.
Yeah,
Then
maybe.
she'll do
Yeah.
it.
What
We'll get to
about?
that.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure if I want to see what Wendy and Lisa look like right by now.
No,
I've seen them.
They
I've
look
seen
just
them.
fine.
They look good.
They
They
look
look good.
You
They're
know,
doing
make
great
it roll
things.
this up and throw this.
Listen, they're writing
they
music
can
for
deliver,
many movies and shows.
don't
They just
care.
did
It's all
Heroes. They
right.
got a lot of stuff. They won an Emmy like 2 years ago for Nurse Betty, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
for
know
doing
that.
music for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're doing
I
big
didn't know
things.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're
Well,
doing
look
big
at
things.
that.
They actually, out of all the band members besides Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, which weren't band members per se, but out of the Revolution, they are the most successful outside of Prince.
Interesting.
Wowie wow wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, no.
Something new every day.
Oh, I'm real serious
Everything
about my Prince
about
fans.
He knows all the
Everything.
He's like, I'm
Real
real
serious.
serious.
I know all.
We got the
I am
whole
a
show
Prince
about that.
encyclopedia.
But you know,
I do all the updates on his wiki page.
right.
Were any of you at the
You wouldn't be
BET
surprised.
Awards in 2007? I was there when Prince performed because I really did think Prince is just going to do like half a song because it's the BET Awards.
Right.
And he did like a
No tea, no shade.
No, not at all. I just thought because it's an award show and it's on
You gonna go real
TV.
serious like that? You know what? No, serious.
No, for real.
I meant-
No, for real.
I
That
meant
was-
because it's an award show and you only have a certain amount of time. I didn't mean shade. But he performed for like 20, 25 minutes and it was astonishing.
Yeah.
You should have been there.
I should have been there. I mean, I've seen him like 30
I love
times. but,
BET.
you
They
know.
just gave me a shout out. Thank you.
Yes, they
No,
did.
really. Thank you, BET.
Yes,
I
they
mean that
did.
very much.
You didn't see the article?
And the writer, John, who did the piece. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You'll have to go check it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Check it out.
That's what we do.
That's what they do.
So there may be this other name you guys might have heard this past weekend or week. Ronnie Rose. No? Maybe you remember this
I know
picture
who
that
she is.
circulated.
I bet you know.
So, hold on, I have to read this because you know I wasn't watching this. During the NBA playoffs on June 5th. So, actually, let me just tell you how I heard
What
about
does
this
that mean in
story.
English? I know. I'm like an NBA playoffs.
We're like in the playoffs.
Let me tell you what I was doing. So, as I was sitting at home, my roommate comes home and he was like, "Bitch, my cousin is everywhere. All the blogs." I'm like,
That's his cousin.
I was like, "What do you mean?"
Wow.
He goes, "This bitch." She made the blogs.
She did.
So apparently,
did.
she went to go watch the game,
Yes, she
and
did.
as she
Yeah,
was
and she's in the colors and everything. She's
Yes,
like,
she did.
"Meow."
So, you know what I mean? She said she had taken a sip of her drink, and when she stood up and Steph Curry looked, she said, "I wanted to give some encouragement," so I just went, yeah. And this picture
What's
snapped.
that?
Well,
Is that like a blowjob?
I think that's
No,
like a
like-
lick.
Oh, she's
it's like
sipping tea?
Is she sipping, or is that the lick of the lip? You know, like a little.
I think it's like you're
I don't have my
sexy.
glasses on.
Like
It
you're
looks like she's
sexy.
giving
You're
The
hot.
picture's a little far.
No, I can tell you exactly what that is. That's the after smack of a drink, right? You drink and you go,
Oh, it is?
yeah.
Yo,
Thank
Marlo,
you.
that was
So
mad
here,
funny.
and I'm glad we can clear this up because, yo, this is not. She's not having an affair with him.
No, they went nuts.
Like
about
Twitter went
this.
ham, like that they're having this secret affair. This is his side
Did you see the
piece.
piece on Media Takeout? Not that I look at that trash. But it was saying they're having an affair.
You know, everyone is
Having
saying.
an affair, they were attacking her page like, "You whore, Steph Curry's married." And I'm like, she was drinking a drink.
But the killer is that it makes it look like he's looking at her and she's looking at him.
Yeah.
He could easily be looking down.
Or past her.
It could have been.
She
after
could have
the-
been
after the
burping.
shot
She
was
could have been
made,
anything,
and he
like-
happened to turn that way. It's a lot of things.
But it went super viral. She done blocked her Instagram. At first, she didn't care because she posted the picture up herself and was
Right,
like,
she
"Y'all
did.
haters."
She did.
Because she just like that.
She did.
But
I posted it too.
Have you
know
met
what I'm
her?
saying? I haven't met her, but the stories that he tells me, because
Let's have her on next
no, I
week.
almost was gonna have her call in actually, because I was like,
amazing.
the same thing happened to her with Drake. Like
Yeah.
it was just at like
What?
yeah, she was just sitting there and she was just like something
She
like that.
sure
and she
do seem to be in the right
She
place
know
at the
where
right
camera.
time.
She fine, that camera. She just sit down like, where the camera at?
And the question becomes,
Right.
why is she always in the front row? Like right there, somebody gave her those seats.
Well, she has a boyfriend, and so she chilling, y'all.
All right. So, but so if anyone did see that the gossip stuff circulating, because there's so many things about him and his wife and his
Yeah.
family that are lovely and lovely,
And everyone wants to tear them apart.
wants to
Right.
tear them
And
down.
honestly, whatever's going on in their private life is none of my business,
Yeah.
frankly. But he do seem like a lovely couple, and I hate to see people tear them down. Try to tear
Well,
them
and they
down.
say that Steph is having a bad time with it too. They said that he, feels that everybody's talking about this. He doesn't want that image out there
Yeah.
because of his daughter and his wife. Even LeBron James, well, according to Hollywood Life, they had spoken with LeBron James, and he made a joke about it. He was saying that he hopes that she comes to every game to distract him, just to distract the opposing team, to make sure that they can try and win Cleveland. But
I like the Currys. I like the Currys
Yeah.
a lot. And and I think that at least he tries to be a good guy. I don't
Right.
think that he's not a good guy, but I'm just saying I think that people try and find something wrong with him
Yeah.
because it's nothing
well, people,
wrong with him.
people want to tear everything down,
Yeah.
everything positive down. So
It's like Obama effect. They just try and find something wrong with you. No, he ain't got no tattoos. Leave him alone. They like, we gotta find something wrong. Something gotta be wrong
Looking
with
at a
him.
girl.
On a
you
quick
looking at
side note,
girl.
have you seen the preview for the Obama movie that's going to be coming out?
What?
That's based off of Obama and Michelle while they were in
Yes.
Chicago.
Yes.
It's one of the what's
Like
the
the
actress's
love
name from the
Tika
Haven't?
Sumter.
Right, she's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
And,
That girl.
I forget who the guy is,
Yeah.
but it's Tika something.
I'm excited to see that.
haven't
It looks
seen
good.
her
It's like
since
their
Gossip
love
Girl.
story
She's
of how
on the
they
Have and Have
connected.
Nots.
That which
No shade, no take.
we not
No
talking
shit.
about.
You may have seen it or you have or have not.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
But you know what? I'm glad that there's soaps are super popular
Yeah.
among Black people, and when they all went off the air, it's kind of good that
they're
Oprah's
picked up
network
somewhere
picked
else.
up. Yeah, for sure.
They need,
Picked up
there's
the
a
torch.
void there for those.
Keep
I'm
running with the torch.
Switzerland.
And there are several online as well.
There are several
Soaps
online. That's truth.
Yeah.
That is the
Well,
truth.
that's all the news I got.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well,
Leave Ronnie Rose alone, y'all.
leave Ronnie Rose alone, or have her go to every
And the
game and be a
Currys.
huge distraction
Listen, she
for
gonna be
everybody.
hosting parties and some.
Seriously.
Okay.
They're gonna be like, oh, she's fine.
Yo,
Hire her.
sidebar, did you know that Chewbacca mom? Which I
Yes.
didn't think it was funny. I wanted to punch that mask. I'm serious.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
Signing
I know you all
autographs.
did, but she signed an autograph,
Yes, for
and all her
money.
children got free college.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said that
Did
was
Ellen
it
give it to
Target
him?
or
I don't know. I think it was.
I'm just saying.
Shutterfly.
Was the mask from Target? I think it was from
The
Target.
mask was, I don't remember.
Or no, it was from Kohl's.
from somewhere.
Kohl's
yeah.
or something like that.
I
But
know, I
apparently,
mean,
like the head of Kohl's,
Right, which
came
is
and
really nice. I mean,
met with her.
I realize it did get 100 million hits, but
Because they said it's sold out.
But
Yeah.
I know I'm in the minority on this, but like I just thought it's not funny.
I didn't
Shut
think it
up!
was
I literally
funny.
wanted
I
to
thought her
pull my
laugh
hair
was
out.
Her laugh
I
was
thought it was hilarious.
You
I thought it was
did?
funny that she was laughing while the
Like a
mask was
drunk
still
lady?
doing that.
She was acting
She
crazy.
seemed like a drunk, pilled
She
out
was
white lady.
tickled.
What? 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 How could you say that, Jesse?
What did I say? Look, y'all ain't gonna throw all the bad jokes on the white boy here, all right?
That's funny. Well,
Sorry for the sidebar.
That's all right. That's all right. But before we move on to Courtney's topics, I want to talk about Chapman University. We are honored to have them on the network right now, and I don't know how much you guys know about that university, but it's about 16 miles from the beach, close to Long Beach. They got about 100 different courses and just majors that you can participate in. I mean, I know they're heavily into television, business, science, technology, education, health science, and arts. It's definitely a place that they say to check out. And if you're looking to get your degree popping off, this is a place that you should look into. The student facility ratio is 14-1, so everybody has that one-on-one opportunity to really deal with your professors and the the aides there. So.
Tell them the most exciting part to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you love this part.
I do.
86% of the students benefit from some sort of financial aid, which is really important
So
nowadays.
if
That
you
is
think
awesome.
you
That's
can't
big.
afford to go to
You
school,
can afford to go.
I mean, you
can.
might have to go through some hoops, and I'm not talking
You're
about
gonna
with
have to
them,
fill
but
out
in
some
general, you got to
forms.
fill out some forms, and
Yeah.
nobody gives free money easily. But if you
Right.
fill out a couple sets of forms, and
Yep.
it sounds like Chapman University does make it easy,
They do.
actually.
They don't.
I would
They
check
do
it
their
out if I
best.
needed my degree. So.
I'm gonna
they
check it
go?
out. I think I'm gonna go back.
Chapman University.
.edu.
.edu, Chapman
Check it
University.
out.
.edu. Actually, it's chapman.edu/information.
Oh,
so
the information.
they're very
Get that right.
specific. So
All
check them out.
right. We
All right,
will.
moving on. Courtney Stewart.
Moving on to other university drama. All right, so many of you may have heard in the news over the last week, the Stanford University convicted rapist.
He looks crazy.
Hence why I'll be going to Chapman.
Right. Nice plug.
He looks like a nutbag.
Another name I refuse to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you because I was like, I can't believe we're gonna say his name.
I'm not going to say his
Good.
name. I just won't. But so he was convicted back in March and was sentenced last week, I believe. And so the big uproar, obviously, is over the sentencing. He has been convicted of 3 counts of felony rape and sexual assault.
Right.
And his daddy wrote a letter.
3 counts of felony rape and sexual assault. There is some discrepancy in reports about what the prosecutors actually recommended as far as his sentence, because it could go up as high as 12 years. Word is, the final word that I sort of went through that had the most collaboration was 6 years was what the recommendation was for.
Right.
The Judge Aaron Persky sentenced him to a mere 6 months in California jail.
There's a petition out where you can sign the petition to get rid of that judge.
He sentenced, so he was sentenced to 6 months, and he's probably only going to serve about 3 of those months. He will have to register as a sex offender, which will mean he cannot drop his children off at school, he cannot be any kind of coach, he can't be on any kind of school property and that kind of thing for the rest of his life. And he will be on probation for 3 years. Obviously, this was quite a bit of an outrage because it's 6 months for 3 counts of felony rape, and it doesn't really line up with other sentences of similar crimes across the country, and there's been a lot of debate on whether it is a color thing, is it a class thing, why is it that this kid only got 6 months in jail when he's shown no remorse, he's shown nothing. As she mentioned, his dad wrote a letter to the judge basically saying, why should he be punished for 20 minutes of action from his life? He called rape action.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mind you,
Called it
for those of you that don't know the details
Yeah, I was
of
gonna
his
say,
case,
give a little bit more details of the
he
story.
raped a young woman
Who was
from a party
unconscious.
who was completely unconscious behind a dumpster outside a frat party at Stanford
The only reason they
University.
caught him is 'cause
They
too
caught him
Swedish.
Too Swedish bikers came by. They saw something going on with a person not moving, and they literally chased him down and tackled him. And they held him down until the police came. And the young lady wrote a beautiful, I don't want to say beautiful, she wrote a poignant letter to the judge. It was like a 12-page letter describing the events and how they've changed her life and affected her life. Apparently none of that was strong enough to make this judge sentence him
But
to
the
jail.
problem is that you think of these are 3 felony accounts.
3 felonies.
Felony counts. 3 felonies in the U.S. goes for 25 to life.
Okay.
Well, do you have the name of the African American footballer who was at Vanderbilt University who was sentenced to 15 years for the exact same crime?
And then also the other guy who was sentenced to 5 years and was turned out that it was completely, he was sentenced to 6 years actually, and it was turned out that it wasn't even the case because the girl retracted her story 4 years later.
Right.
So he spent 5 years in jail of his 6-year sentence, and it wasn't even true. And they had obviously eyewitness account that this was the case, and he was convicted.
This has got to be a watershed moment in terms of the disparity and how white people are sentenced and black people. I mean, this is insane and ridiculous.
And today they reported that they found lies and spaces in his story because he had told the judge, I guess initially, that he had not really had never been a partier and never done these type of things.
That was sort of like the whole idea of how his whole case was sort of about. When it started out, he was very much like, I was drunk. I wasn't going to take her to the room. I wasn't going to do anything with her except bump her behind this dumpster. He was pretty obviously doing what he was going to do. And then it turned into another whole kind of story because his lawyers had to build a story of why this would happen. And he was unduly influenced by the other swimmers and athletes on the school thing that you can do whatever you want at the parties and everybody drinks. And that whole idea that he has all this potential because he wants to be an Olympic swimmer. And he was really focused on that. And he would never, this was a once in a lifetime thing that he would have never done.
It only needs to happen once.
That's right. The point.
It only needs to happen once. It only needs to happen once, and it's like, this is such a white privilege thing.
Yeah.
And classist. It's like, you're a student, you're a swimmer at Stanford University. Mm-hmm. So you're already put in a certain category.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get 6 months.
Yeah.
For raping someone behind a dumpster?
Also to pass the buck and not take... I see why he takes no responsibility because his father's letter took no responsibility. Right. So I see where the son got his values from. You know what I mean?
For 20 minutes of action.
He literally said 20 minutes of action.
It's not like he was just dancing in the parking lot. He was raping.
It's like, what about when someone's been shot? Are you going to be like, oh, for 3 seconds of action? Like,
right. No, I hope this becomes a huge case in the news that people... And he gets resentenced because we're sick of it.
Literally, this is American crime. Did you guys see it this season?
Yeah.
So my question is what is this like? I question like, did the school get involved to try and cover some stuff up?
Well, they do try to say that the judge had relations to the school, and maybe that's why he was a little bit biased. But he wasn't like a major booster of the school or anything like that. And he actually has done primarily like assault cases and violent crime cases like this. So it was kind of strange.
He let another person off the hook for the same kind of thing, by the way. He gave someone a light sentence as in the past for a rape. So
he needs to be gone.
There is a petition. They have a
change.org petition that's going around. It has over 600,000 sentences. But the reality is that petition is not really going to mean anything in terms of recalling him. The people of Santa Clara County have the ability to recall a judge, and so they would have to be sort of on top of that if it were to ever come to the case. But most people don't think it
So let's make this petition really big so that way they can be well aware that that's what needs to happen.
But regardless, I think it came out. There's a huge conversation.
You got the phone out right now.
That is
you pulled the petition out during the show.
Horrible.
I think this judge in cases like this are going to be as big as there's a movie on Netflix now about how the judge was selling off black kids to basically, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And this is not dissimilar from that.
No, wait. I don't know what you're talking about. What? Selling off?
No, he was sending them to certain, like the juvenile facilities because they're private facilities that make a certain amount of money off of whatever.
So he was sentencing black kids who didn't deserve to be in the system to the system, and I don't mean selling, but I mean selling in a certain way because he was pocketing.
You get money for it.
That's right.
I mean, that's why incarceration rates are so high.
He was just sentenced to jail.
So, sorry, y'all. It says the petition, you can do it to to force impeachment hearings for Judge Persky. They said this is not a recall effort, so if you are local and you would like to join it, you can contact Michelle Dauber at Stanford University, 650-723-2512. That's Michelle Dauber, Stanford University, 650-723-2512. Get that man fired.
And if you're in Santa Clara County, write those letters to all the representatives and everybody in the county. It does matter.
It does matter.
And this is the one thing about the age we're in now, where there's just cameras and news everywhere, because I find that sort of annoying, but at the same time it's great, because something like this would have just gone away. The guy would have done his 3 months, and we never would have heard about it if we didn't have social media and things like that today.
And 3 years probation, that's not enough. It's like if you're gonna give me 6 months, then I want to be on probation for the rest of my life.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be able to move without telling somebody.
Knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really disheartening.
Yeah.
It's really disheartening that someone else doesn't think enough of an assault to make some kind of stance.
Was she African American, his victim? Oh, interesting.
But I have a question.
I think I assumed she was, and that's why he got a light sentence.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, that's...
What if you are 19, this kid's what, 19?
He's 19. Well, he was 19 when it happened.
19 years old when it happened. You know, this is obviously a major crime. But say 20, 30 years from now, do you think that he still should be registered as a sex offender?
Yes.
When this is
3 felonies.
There are some things that you do in life that you will spend the rest of your life paying for. That's
Absolutely.
why
Right,
choices
because you
matter.
have control.
Right.
You know what I mean? So do I trust that crazy-looking motherfucker is going to have control 30 years? Maybe he will, but this is the price you pay.
Right.
The price you pay for raping and
this
violating
wasn't
another
a situation where there were kids in a dorm room that were drinking and hanging out. Somebody went too far, and somebody else was like, I don't really know. She was completely unconscious, laid outside on the ground behind a dumpster.
So thank you, Swedish exchange
where were her
students.
friends?
The only person
Where are her
making
friends, by the way?
Good question.
Where are her
Well,
friends?
she was at the party
Because
with
I'm looking
her
at my friends
sister.
like,
But you know how
but that's
friends
really
are.
hard,
I
but she
remember
was-
passing out. My friends left me in college. Literally
Well,
left
we had
me.
a rule
Oh,
not
no,
to leave.
I don't
but
have
in
that.
the thing that's sad, because she wrote the story, when she wrote in her letter, she wrote about her sister, because she only went to the party because of her sister. She's actually graduated from school. She was 23 years old.
So she was kind of a loner.
She was only there because she was only wanted to spend some time with her sister. Her sister was only in town for a week. She went to this party with her sister. Her sister was off. They were drinking and doing their thing, and she actually called her sister at one point, and she was saying how I was more drunk than I realized because I hadn't been drinking regularly, because I've been graduated for a couple years now and I'm not drinking like normal.
And who knows
her
what they put
sister
her-
gets the voicemail and can't find her, and so and all of this ends up happening. She comes and picks her up from the hospital, and her sister feels, so she's saying in her letter,
sister.
I feel just as responsible. Like I've done this to you just as much as he did, because I wasn't there and I didn't help you and I didn't catch you. So he ruined not just her life, but her sister will be thinking about this for the rest of her life.
Right.
And a family. So
yes, 30 years from now, boom.
You need
Especially
to-
you're only getting 6 months for the rest of your life. Get
people
dragged.
are pushing for this maximum sentence for him, so I think it'll change.
I
think it'll change.
it's very difficult to get. The
You can't get changed,
I don't
right?
think I don't think it's going to be changed.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to.
I think it all would have to come on the judge. You know?
The best we can do is hope to get the judge out of the system, because he's clearly got some 1940s
and make a meme out of this
mentality.
kid, like, or something. Like, just I can't. Like, that's.
I don't want a meme out of that Ronald McDonald
They
looking
have a
motherfucker.
few-
But wait, here's the scariest. You know who he really looks like? And now I don't know if I could watch
Carrot
this. Show.
Top.
No. The main guy from American Horror Story.
Oh,
yeah,
Evan
he does.
Peters.
Yeah,
He kind of does.
He kind of does.
But even Evan Peters didn't have that crazy ass look in his eye, but he
in
was
the
playing
first
a
season-
serial killer.
In the first season, he kind of had that.
You know, he has a kind of a psycho person recessed chin.
That's not true. What?
Says psycho person recess.
Bitch, I know you're walking out like.
Wait, you got a theory about recessed chins?
Well, I just feel like, you know, when something happens when your chin is pushed back into your head.
It's inbreeding, right? Is that where you're going?
It's got to be inbreeding.
I'll fill it in. What?
Wow.
That's where the father was coming from.
All right.
All right.
We have to keep our family stock clean and white, right?
Write those
Write
letters.
those letters, guys. Sign the petition.
Get that judge out
Keep
of there.
it. Get that judge.
And send your back comments to
And
me because they
continue
didn't
the
say that.
conversation about rape culture in this
Absolutely.
country and why
Very
it's so
important.
acceptable for these things to happen on so many levels. Okay,
All
we're
right.
gonna close real quick with I think this is positive. So Cincinnati Zoo opened their exhibit back up, guys.
That was quick.
Without Harambe. It opened back up on Tuesday. They built a little higher wall.
A little
higher wall with some wires on it, apparently. No, because there's a report that says the wall was only 3 feet high, and that's how the kid was able to climb over the wall and fall.
First of all, how the gorilla's not coming out of that?
Thank you.
I've said the whole time that it should be the zoo, not the film. When people, we should sue the fish.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well,
have you ever been around a child or been a child? You turn your head for 2 seconds and they are gone. I'm not saying of course parents should keep a better hold of their kids.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And the kid was
yes, but it could happen to anyone.
Okay, because last week Major was like, if it was a child of color, it would
we didn't start talking.
But I was like, okay, because
he light-skinned it though.
Initially, you couldn't tell what the first videos that were released. You couldn't tell if it was a black kid or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, the prosecutor Joe Dieters came out and said that the mother was not to blame for the incident, and he said that the child scampered off while the mother had been looking after the other 3 children she had there with her. Girl, you going to the zoo with 4 kids?
That's
that
alone.
What are you gonna do?
Remember the thing? My mom used to have this thing. She was strapped from her.
That stressed me out just to
That's
hear
why
it.
you need leashes on them, because they make people talk smack about the leashes for the kids.
I used to have to be on
In
one.
a public place,
Like that.
I'm not a fan of leashes on children,
I'm not a
but
fan,
I
but
understand what
I
you're talking
I
about.
had the wrist one.
I would
Mom
leash
would be
the heck out of my
But
kids.
also the reason I know
Tied to my arm. Let's go.
I was at the
Let's go.
park with my sister and her 2 kids and the husband, so 3 adults, right? And we're with the one kid. We look around. Oh my God,
Where'd he go?
22nd. He's right over there, but still. And also, and I'm going to take it to a very serious place. People want to blame the parents, but in my family, we unfortunately lost a child to drowning. There were adults in the house. There was people around. It's just that. Unfortunately,
happen very
tragedies
quickly.
happen, and we have all learned a huge lesson in my family about this.
Yeah.
So and I'm going to throw that out there because it's summertime too. So I would like to say, anyone with a pool, please put a pool guard up. Please put the pool guard up. I know it's not cool. Put it the fuck up.
All right.
That's the
Yeah,
truth.
and I mean, here's the thing also, where I'm glad the mother did technically get off of this, because I'll use this for an example. I remember I went to Disney World with all of my cousins and my aunt and my grandmother, and one of the kids was 4 at the time. And the entire time my grandmother, it got crowded, I get a little crowded at Disney World. My grandmother thought she was holding my cousin's hand,
Somebody else's
and she ended up finding out it was another kid. Because at one point when it got crowded,
it happened.
and I mean we had been walking for a minute. Now
in
luckily
Disney
that
World, there's, like,
person's
crowds
parent
of people.
was still waiting.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's back to your point.
Right.
Things just kind of happen.
I don't know why that made me giggle.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I mean, you guys did laugh. It was
Because it
quite
was
And I
serious.
instantly imagine like a little white kid
Let
too.
go.
Sorry, I know, it's not
Nah,
funny.
I
And
mean,
where
my
was the
fault.
other kid? The other kid was like, oh,
He was like, wait.
Grandma, hey.
Wait, yeah.
I'm right here. Yeah.
But again, hopefully this will make zoos put fortifications, better fortifications.
I'm okay
Yes.
looking at the gorilla. Actually, I'm not, because I'm not going to the zoo no more. I told you about that last week. I'm not going to the zoos anymore. But it's okay to actually put up some walls and see.
Yeah,
They
we're
did.
there
They said
for
they-
that.
they
We don't
made
want to
it
be on a
bigger.
safari. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What about those glass things that they have in fancy zoos? You know what I mean? It's like bulletproof glass, and so there's there's no fence.
there
it's
is
just
no-
like
there's
a
no
glass.
fence.
It's actually a
But
better.
have you-
This one was like
Not
up on a
preserved.
ledge. This was like up on a ledge. It was like
He was, to look down.
nobody was thinking that,
somebody would fall over.
Yeah, I'm glad the baby was okay.
Yeah.
because
But
that
I
was
do
a pretty
always
big
get-
fall.
I actually felt like the gorilla was taking care of it. Pulled his pants up, kind of set him up for a second, and looked at him. Was like, okay.
He might have been for
like, when did your mama doing your hair?
I'm with her on this one. I thought if that gorilla wanted to rip that child to shreds, he would have. He
would
could
have
have. He should. No, they did the right thing because he could have been enraged at any second and done it then. But his immediate instinct wasn't to tear that child
Right.
apart. It was sort of like, what is this?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if it was my child down there, I would want the gorilla probably shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to look at it on a different stand, like, well, why'd I have to shoot it? Could have tranquilized it. But it is true. If the gorilla had reacted to that, it could just take one snatch and just kill that kid.
Yeah, those gorillas have the strength of like 100 men
Yeah.
at once. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I
Sorry,
initially
Harambe.
said, why didn't they tranquilize it? And they was like, because the tranquilization doesn't
Takes in. It takes
And
a
it
few
would
minutes to
have
kick in.
Would have
right.
agitated the gorilla, and then
Yeah.
he might
And then
have.
it might have taken it out
Or
on
if he
the
even
kid.
fell on the kid.
Everybody was screaming
that,
already.
yeah.
Everybody
How about that?
irritated him. So
Right.
he
You'd be
was
like, oh, my bad. Sorry.
Right. It fell the wrong
Maybe we
way.
should have killed
Right.
it.
He should have felt that way. We were trying to, like when
We
you
didn't
saw
think
down
we
a
was-
tree,
I'm
be
so
like,
sorry.
oh.
Right. All right. Well,
Damn it, Sarah.
thank you, Courtney,
You
for that.
shot him
update.
on the left. You
Right.
shoot him on the right.
Note to self: just watch your children.
Note to self: don't go to the zoo.
And according to
That
Courtney,
too.
don't go to the zoo.
Courtney, and somebody signed in our YouTube. Thank you for the YouTube comment that clarified that I wasn't crazy. Yes, there was a tiger at the San Diego Zoo.
No,
she
yeah.
named a tiger
Oh, yeah,
that
she
came
did.
out
She did name the
and
tiger.
hunted those teenage boys and ate them and mauled them.
Wait,
because
who?
Yeah. No, I said I'm never. After that story,
I didn't know it was
tiger.
true.
It was.
And then I didn't think you made it up.
Out of it.
I just was like,
followed them.
I heard that
ate them?
story, and I looked it up afterwards, and it was true.
Everybody
You
said that
my
last
lion
year.
walk pictures,
It was true.
right? Where
Yeah.
I did a walk with lions
Yes, I saw
in
that and I was like,
Africa.
why are you walking with lions?
I did it in Zimbabwe.
What was that
Amazing. I don't recommend it for people though. I mean, like, I know my theory was I don't have kids. If I get eaten, who cares? You know. But
That's a good way to look at it.
No.
I need to do that now in my life.
It's true. But no, it's something I wouldn't do again and wouldn't advise. These are wild animals. But I've never heard that San Diego Zoo story. That they.
Have you seen that? Side note, I'm sorry. Have you seen that YouTube documentary with the guy that raised?
Yes,
that
Charles.
lion?
Yes.
Oh,
And
and
then went
then
back to
it
the-
killed him?
No.
No, and then it killed him?
He went back and then
That's
he.
He went back
That's
like
a bear.
30 years.
Oh, the bear.
That's
right.
a bear
you're thinking of
story.
grizzly
He went
man.
back like
Grizzly man.
30 years, 25, 30 years later. And he was like the king. This lion now was like the king of the pride or whatever, and stopped all these lions from coming to him, and ran and like jumped
Hugged
on
him.
and hugged him and kissed him. And
It was.
licked him.
It's
It
called
was
Charlie
crazy.
the Lion
Yeah.
or something like that. You look it up.
It
It's
was
Yeah, I
evident.
know what you're talking about.
And it's "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney
It
Houston.
is,
I know
right?
what you're talking
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
gonna say when I did my lion walk in Zimbabwe, I did feel like that's the closest I felt like I saw God because you
Yeah.
had to get
Yeah.
so zen.
How
and
close
so
was it to
peaceful.
you?
Oh well, you know what? Most people, it's like you're watching it from over there. They're like, you on TV, come on. And they gave me like the special treatment, so I had my own walk and my own. I was hugging up on the lions. I have 3 lions around me, and I'm like, hey, what you don't see is a picture before where I'm like, oh, you know. And then I put on the actress smile for the picture. But I spent at least an hour, hugged up on these things. But what you didn't see was a guy with a dart gun and a gun to kill them over there, and a first aid kit, and a guy with a walkie for a helicopter. In
Yeah.
case it started mauling me.
Yeah, see, that's the
Yeah.
reason I'm good with meeting my fellow lions.
I'd
So, I'm a
also-
Leo. That's close
but
enough. I need
also-
to
I'm just wait. I want to swim with
Yeah.
a dolphin. That's all I want in my
But,
life.
Well,
that
dolphins
too.
rape girls, okay? They will hump women
They have
because
rape.
they
They
can
have
smell.
rape
Like you
caves.
said.
Dolphin
They
rape.
can.
That is a real thing. I
That
did a
is
whole
real.
research on it.
How
It's a
about-
dolphin rape cave.
How do you know it's rape and they're not just like, I like an orgy?
No, because are you saying yes?
No, I'm not saying yes.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Maybe these
Right.
girls love sex with dolphins.
Look,
Have you seen the donkey show in Mexico?
Right, it's a whole new
Unless the
sexual
cave is at
thing.
Stanford, I don't think.
Maybe they're no. I'm saying maybe dolphins are polygamous.
I don't want to see that porn
Well,
video.
I am not, and I do not want to be raped by a dolphin.
I
so
don't
say
That is true, women. So be
I
careful.
would
If you're on your
freak out.
periods, don't be swimming in the ocean.
Actually,
Or
that's-
even close, because they can smell the
That's
pheromone.
true.
Like they will hump you.
Wait,
I'm
the
not.
whole
Y'all think I'm
thing.
crazy?
No.
Keep looking at me like I'm crazy.
I think we covered this
We've
topic.
The
covered
whole
Yeah,
time
enough.
before
We get
my
it.
lion walk, I was
We
like,
get
please
it.
don't get your period. Please don't get your period. Please don't get. That's seriously.
Oh, well, I mean, I can understand. All right, wow, okay.
Live on humping the dog.
Marlo, you gotta have so much to talk about in your podcast.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Moving on from that, which
Yes,
is
let's
very
move on.
difficult because
Let's
now I
move
have
on.
these visuals
I'm
of
so
dolphins
sorry.
and vaginas
Nobody
Sea
said vagina but
porn.
you.
Right.
Hey,
and.
hey.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Dolphins want some love too.
I guess so. Gosh. What was the famous dolphin? What's the
Flipper?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Oh,
Get it?
that's
Flip
a whole
her?
Flip her.
Flip her.
I was right there with you.
Flipper
I was
was
right
a
there with you.
freak.
was a
Flipper was a freak.
free.
He was like, I flipped her.
What? Free Willy. Free Willy. Zach from the booth just put a free
That's a
Willy. That's a
whale.
whale, Zach. That's a whole other different porn,
And
right?
that's
He's like, never mind.
I don't
Never
want to
mind.
see what Free Willy's dick look like.
We don't want to see the Free Willy.
Moving
All right,
on.
moving on. I'm trying to move on from this subject. All right, well, you know what? You said something very important, Courtney. You were talking about people going in and commenting on YouTube last week. And we haven't talked about this in a while, but we want to remind everybody to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Also go to iTunes, give us a rating and comment. But definitely like the videos. We watch the videos. We want to continue to up our channel number and just get you guys in there, give you the best content that we have. So please continue to give us content. Tell your grandmother, tell
Are
your
they going to put
friend.
up the link? Because I found that there's a lot of different shows on this awesome
there is.
network. So
Yes.
if you want to find this one in particular, follow the link that's going to be up somewhere.
Yes, or you
tweet
can just go
out.
yes, somewhere, or we tweet it out, or you can go to blackhollywoodlive.com and type that into YouTube, and you'll find our playlist, and you can subscribe there as well.
Yeah,
So
we have a lot of other shows, yo.
we got 15 shows. So
People be like, you do a music show?
right, people, it's great because
Bitch,
people
I've
are
been doing it for
discovering
3
us, but it's cool. But we want to get that message out there, so please do that for us. All right, we're gonna move on to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week. You like that, didn't you, Marlo?
Like, where
You like
is it
that?
from?
You like where's it
Who
coming
coming?
from?
Who
Right, now
You were
she
waiting for the
looking at
lights to go in. Right. You were waiting for somebody to pop up
Sound
I feel
behind
like
you.
there should have been a laser or something.
Right. All right. Well, this story has been in the news. We lost another great one last week. Muhammad Ali, at the age of 74, who had battled Parkinson's disease for many, many years. Well, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding his funeral that's going to be taking place tomorrow. He's going to be buried in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, and the city gave out 15,000 free tickets for people to go to the funeral. What they're gonna do is they're gonna put it online, and they're also gonna have a TV screen where you can watch it live as well. The problem that they're running into now is that people are upset because of the fact that some people are taking their tickets, their free tickets that they got, and selling them online for profit.
You knew that was going to happen.
I knew it was gonna happen.
America.
Yes.
We're capitalist society. I know. Why are we mad?
Well,
I don't understand.
It's true. Well, they're even calling for anyone who knows someone who's selling their tickets online to protest it, to make sure it doesn't happen. I mean, the city's involved in this. I mean,
If someone want to buy the ticket and go,
It's in poor taste, yes.
Yes.
Right.
However, it's not like we selling it to, whoever buying it
wants to go.
recognize and loves and appreciate Muhammad Ali too.
And wasn't there time to get it?
If I got a free ticket and I need my rent paid and somebody want to pay me $1,000 for a ticket, why would we deny an American the American way? Like,
Wait, why did your voice go into that?
she did.
Because it's in Louisville. I'm just saying, like,
She got real country.
Courtney channeled one of
She
those
said,
people
"And
selling
why?"
their ticket.
We know what you would have done
channel
with
my
your ticket.
culture in Georgia. I know.
Of course, she would have been going to see Beyonce.
Listen.
Because I'd be right there. I'll get
Actually, that's a
information.
lie. I would have just paid off my student loan because I'm so close, and I'm like,
Listen,
come on, y'all.
I don't
probably still would've went to
disagree with
Beyonce.
people being able to do whatever they want to do with the
Yes.
tickets. They didn't. When they gave you the ticket, they didn't say we're going to give you the ticket, but these are the rules.
Yeah.
It was here's your ticket. Go see it.
Did you have
But
to
I think-
sign up for the ticket?
No, they had a line. So literally, people.
just-
So
you had to
tickets
go to
started going on, not on sale, but tickets were started. They were
Given
available
away.
Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
People started lining up at 10:30 p.m. Tuesday
like
night
first
to
come,
get
Once
tickets.
I was in LA and I had a family member that was in Louisville, I'm like, can you go get a ticket?
Yeah, but they would just give it to you, but they wouldn't sell it
They
to
wouldn't
you.
sell it. I think people are
Okay,
having a problem with
what
the.
if my cousin had a friend named Jerome, and he was in line?
You better send Jerome your picture and he'll just give it to you.
Okay.
Right. Well, I think people are having. Look, you see that?
Instagram hand.
She Instagram hand. I think the problem that people are really honestly having is that, because of his status and who he was, lots of people want to see him or
Of
be involved in the
course.
funeral, especially when they took it back to his hometown. And the fact that only, these 15,000 tickets were taken out, and if you can't go unless you have this ticket. So some people I think feel like, well, I could have gotten that ticket. You're selling this.
No,
but
you
like,
couldn't. You
I
weren't in
could've-
line.
Well, yeah.
But wasn't there two? Because wasn't one today like an Islamic service?
So
today?
there was, So the way they're doing it is it is a service that started at yesterday or today include a Muslim prayer service, and then tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll start the street memorial. So they're going to go 19 miles around his city. They said they're going to cover it's going to cover like being in front of his house, all the way down to the KFC Yum Center where the actual I know it's such a crazy title where the service will actually take place. Bill Clinton is delivering a eulogy, and they said it's gonna start at 9 a.m. and then it'll conclude around
What's the
4
connection
p.m.
to Bill Clinton?
He was friends with Muhammad
Friends
Ali.
with him.
Also, I really think that the people who are critiquing President Obama for going to his daughter's graduation instead of this, y'all have too much time on your hands. That's once again.
I mean, really.
You really have too much. If you're worried about
Really?
that, of course he's going to go see his living child's graduation, and he can honor the man.
And I'm
in
sure
any
the
way he
spirit
feels
of
like
Muhammad
it.
Ali is fine with that.
That's
with
right.
that.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I will be checking it out.
Online.
watch it
online.
Watch it
I mean,
online.
it's. I just feel like this year, especially in the last couple of months, we've lost so many great ones that we just are continuing to hear about. But I guess that's just the nature of life. But it seems like everything's back to back. But if you want to see the funeral or in the service, you can go online as well, unless you know someone who will sell you
Craigslist chat. Somebody might be scalping a ticket.
Somebody might be scalping a ticket. You can get a flight, red eye real quick,
Yeah.
to Louisville, Kentucky. All right, we're going to move on to something else, or someone else who's making history like Muhammad Ali did, Hillary Clinton. This week was a very successful week for her. This is changing the game on the presidency. People voted, and she got the primary vote. She got
in
the delegate
California.
vote.
And as of today, Obama has officially endorsed her.
Obama has officially endorsed her.
She's awesome. She's not the first woman to run for president by any means. Let's not forget
Shirley Chisholm did it.
Mondale, whatever her name. You know, or Geraldine Ferrari. Didn't she run as well? She's a white lady who ran a while back. She tried.
Geraldine Ferrari ran?
I believe she did. She tried a bit at it. I could be totally wrong though.
But she's the first female presidential nominee of a major political party.
So kudos to her.
Yeah.
Kudos to her. Sidebar to the fact that we both went to vote, and it turns out I'm a Democrat, right? But when I went, they said, no, you can't vote in this primary because you're registered as some kind of I forget the party's name. It doesn't even say. It says independent in the word, but it's not independent. It's actually an offshoot of a hardcore Tea Party Republican thing.
Is it like a peace and freedom?
No, it says independent in the name, and they phrased it a way where it sounds like it's a liberal party, by the way, but it's not. It's a Republican Party. Now, I never registered for this party. You
Same thing happened to me.
So why two black people got to go to the polls?
But is it because when you originally registered,
I voted in the.
It was out of state. Like for me, I had to register they sent it to me, so I did it in New York, but
I've lived in California for a really long time. I voted in the last Democratic primaries and the one before that, so it's very interesting.
Changed?
Yeah, and but when I went to vote, it actually happened to a couple people there, so I think there was a glitch in the system.
And that's not true that I
had to be provisional.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Yes, that happened to my boyfriend as well.
I was like, I've been here forever.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have. They have the same thing.
So I do believe, I think Hillary Clinton won this state fair and square, by the way, but I do think it's very interesting that a lot of people's votes did not count and were not cast.
She needed 2,383 delegates to take the nomination. She received, as of 2,780, and they said that Bernie Sanders had 1,876.
She's still the presumptive nominee, though, because Bernie is still going on.
Right.
He's still going on. Backed out.
What do you guys feel about the fact that he hasn't dropped out? I don't have a problem with it. I think you got to dream. You got to follow it to whatever your end is.
I understand why we would like him to, just because it's pretty clear that Trump's the guy, and it's like the other side's energy is still split. But at the same time, I respect that he has some very specific things that he wants to be a part of the Democratic agenda that he wants to get it to the floor at the actual convention. So that's why he's holding out.
I absolutely am a Bernie supporter. Bernie. But I'm just saying.
You feel the burn now, girl, don't you?
I feel the burn because there's like over 1 million votes that haven't been counted.
Right.
You know, and it's because of the craziness in California, and just because he said, you know, I'd like to see the hard number of, you know, of all the votes in California and see what the results are. Then they're making it seem like, oh, he's bitter, or he's making a big deal of nothing. It just so happens that this last month, I was involved in a campaign to register recently turned 18 youth.
Yes.
You know, and so we registered over 2,000 of them. And of the 2,000, we had a large chunk that when they went to the polls, it was like, they were like, no, you're not here, or you were independent, else, so you can't do this, or we didn't have a declaration for you, so it's just something. It was constantly something,
right?
And this is not, and California is not the only state that has happened in. And I just have to say that, I mean, this can't be a coincidence that everyone's having this problem in all the states.
Well, let's not forget what happened to Al Gore in Florida.
I was going to say, if Al Gore wasn't brewed.
Right, and then when he lost, he went on a partying spree, and all you saw was him partying and sweating.
Right, yeah, you're right.
Dariel, did you vote for the things you could? Because like what happened was they said I can't vote for the nominees, but I could vote for the local California government stuff, which I did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So Hillary actually was giving a speech, an interview the other day, and she said that she owes everything to her mother, who is her biggest role model, and this is what she had to say about it. My mother believed that life is about serving others, and she taught me never to back down from a bully, which in arms was pretty good advice. And I would agree with that. She waited 6 states until she announced the declaration of her victory. So she waited until the 6 states held a final round of their voting process. So, you know, well, it's going to be an interesting ride.
Hillary, I wish you weren't so tied to Monsanto, but I do believe in you. I'm with you, but I wish you weren't so tied to a bunch of things
I will be with her once she is the Democratic nominee.
Sure. No, and that's good of you to say, by the way.
Until then,
You stick to your
all
guns.
Bernie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
As
like
well you should be.
I did not forget how she acted when Obama was running. She
You're
was
right.
rude. She was disrespectful. I'm sure Michelle didn't forget either.
You're probably too young to remember like what I think that Hillary Clinton in the 90s really tried to do some awesome stuff.
She did.
She did some
She
shitty
was
stuff
too young
too, but
to
she
remember.
really tried to do something with healthcare, and they
She
just shit
shot
on
her down.
Like she was
You're right.
garbage.
Shot her down.
But at the same
who's
time,
this
she also
Hillary?
co-signed on that.
Yeah, she did some really weird things,
incarceration of all these
Listen,
Negroes.
if there was a Facebook post I saw this morning, my girlfriend sent to me that had it was 50 people around the Clinton administration that has died since. That they're not just not died of natural causes, but has been shot and killed, committed suicide, all around this Clinton.
Right.
Oh no, girl, you're thinking of House of Cards. No, I'm kidding.
It feels like House of
Yeah,
Cards. You know,
yeah.
when you're reading it, it's like, yeah, he was found in his house, shot in the head.
That's some
They said it
X-Files
was
stuff right there.
suicide. And it's like 50 people that, and all of them are around the Clintons since he's been out of office. Like,
Nothing surprises me.
and it was just like, really?
Art reflects life.
Well, again, I think it'll be interesting to see what pans out. I think you're very smart to hang with your candidate until it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
I think she should, at the most, she should make Bernie her vice
Her
president.
vice president.
She
I don't think that's going to happen, but
gonna be Elizabeth
I'm just
Warren.
being honest. I don't think he's going to be her vice, but I hope he does get a position.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I think he's
Absolutely.
really galvanized the youth and people in a way that no other politician has in quite a long time. So.
I'm way more excited to see the effery that happens at the Republican convention.
Me
my
too.
God.
I cannot wait for
Because
that.
there's all these rumblings that they got the secret nominee that's going to come out, and they're trying to take it away from Trump. So I'm way more excited about that.
I am too.
I hope smart to do that.
I hope so.
I am too.
I am
All right.
smart.
Well,
Fascinating.
we'll see how it goes, but that concludes our topics of the day. But Marlo, you joined us really quick. I wanted to ask you, you have a podcast, That Girl Said. So tell people about that and how do they find it and what's it all about.
You can go on my website, thatgirlsaid.com and /thatgirlsaid, which is the podcast, and I talk about current events, just kind of like you guys, but mine is only 20 minutes. Sorry.
Sorry, we
Can
like
they
to
find you on
we like to
iTunes
blast.
as well?
Yes, you can find me
We're
on
not Kurt.
iTunes as well, That Girl Said.
That
And
Girl
how
Said.
did you get started in that?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I started doing a couple of webisodes. I also have a webisode that's coming out called Black Girl Bucket List, where I do a lot of the different things like on people's bucket list and just being a
Cool.
black girl from Compton doing it because, you know, you say we don't get our hair wet. I get my hair wet. And, you know, just doing all the
I like
things.
how you switched it back too.
You like that? You saw
Yeah,
that?
that was a little sweet.
And you know, and so I started in webisodes, and you know, and I'm very opinionated, as you can see, and so I always ended up in a monologue talking to people, and they'd be like, "We should have taped that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? I'll do it.
I'll tape it for you.
How about that?"
And you're on how many days a week?
I'm on every week. I upload my podcast every Friday.
Friday. So you can
Fridays.
check it out every Friday.
Yes.
And then where can people find you outside of that, just on social media and like
Social media, my social media handle for both Twitter and Instagram is @Marlo Jaye, and Facebook is That Girl MJ.
Check her out. Be sure to check out that podcast. It's really dope. Rachel, where can fans find you?
Oh, I'm on Instagram @TrueRachelTrue. I'm Twitter. Twitter is just @RachelTrue. And then for my tarot website is TrueHeartTarot.com.
A lot of
Wait,
T's.
tarot?
That's
You
right.
did
I
this
read-
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting. I'm going to bring in my cards and do
Yes,
readings
I
for you
picked my
guys. But
deck.
I've been,
I'm waiting.
I've
I
been
want you to.
studying
I'm
You gotta
scared.
invite me
I've
back.
been
scared, but
studying
I'm waiting.
tarot for like 30 years, so I've done it for that long.
Please bring it in next week. We'll do it on the show.
TrueHeartTarot.com.
Wait, oh my, you know I have my own deck.
Shut it.
I swear.
Shut
I just
it.
read
you
He's
go.
like my spirit
Anyway.
animal.
There's a moment going on. Jesse, where can fans find
DJ
you?
Jesse J everywhere.
Courtney.
I'm everywhere @Stuart Starlet.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live this week. An exciting show again.
Yes,
Be sure to
yeah.
tune in to Muhammad Ali's funeral service if you can tomorrow. And that
Greatest.
concludes us for this week.
Bye.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us @BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.